Even when they are good people, their energy is totally consistently negative. But your energy is consistently positive. For being a good person, your energy also has a good intention. Their energy is negative because even when they have a good intention, the good intention is to meet their need. So when their needs are not met, what happens? They feel a negative impact. So they consistently go into a negative operation. That negative operation will lead or will have an influence on you so that you might think you are the problem. So the negative energy is me rejecting maybe you. Because the intention of this energy is to make sure that I influence you act in a certain way. That is the most addictive drug pill that exists right now. It's not sex. It's not even manipulation. It's the energy. That is the most toxic pill that exists right now. Everyone is so addicted to that pill. You can't tell that the relationship you are having with Hannah, even when you feel like she has a good intention, okay? And the relationship is maybe on a specific frequency, and the frequency, it's love, good intention, right? Because all her acts, you can tell, they are genuine and she is a good person, okay? And that is a fact. Hannah, she is a woman who has a good intent. But that doesn't confirm her vibrational frequency. That is the energy. Now, she can be a good person. She can have a good intent. But I can be good with an expectation. So I know I am good to you, Isaac, okay? Maybe you can tell that her actions are genuine. But I am good with an expectation. And I have a belief that I am only good to you because I am getting something in return. So I expect you, Isaac, in return to give me something, leading to a more low vibrational frequency. You can tell that even when I am a good person, I am always frustrated. I am always angry. I am always sad. Frustration, the angry, the sad, the negativity creates a specific energy and frequency inside me that is negative. So even when the intent and the actions are good, but the vibe and the energy is already what? It is negative. Let's say you are vibrating on a higher frequency and you can tell that she is a good person. So her energy will have to impact you and you won't have a pure energy. Instead, it will be sometimes you are at peace and sometimes you are disturbed by her energy. You will find yourself also seeing things and perceiving reality in a negative state. And nothing is working out. Your brain, it will slowly start to observe and see things negatively. Why? You are still in a peaceful state, a higher frequency. Okay? It is triggering the feeling, the energy that exists in her. But she thinks something is wrong with you until you have the same frequency she has. And now you will be involved in a psychological society that is going to torture you. Maybe she has a coping mechanism that has allowed her not to be affected mentally. But she can deal with the surrounding and what is affecting her physically. But you do not have a coping mechanism. And the only way to deal with this, to cope with this, if you're not willing to walk away from Hannah, even when her actions are good, but it has an effect on you mentally, is to set boundaries. Okay? Make sure that you are not emotionally invested or paying too much attention to her state of being because she is in a negative state. Okay? Make sure that her energy doesn't affect you and how she perceives reality doesn't affect you. Don't consistently accept her vibration because she is a good person. This is the whole idea of her acting so that she can influence you to also operate on a negative state. And you can say, no, she is a good person. You can be a good person, but you are again insecure. And because she is insecure, she thinks that the only way to control you is to act in a negative way. But the fact is, when someone is insecure, deep down, internally, they are suffering. And because they are suffering, they will make you think that you are the problem because you have an evidence that shows she is a good person. So that when you also feel bad, they can pay attention to you and forget what is going on internally to whom they are. They're not willing to work on themselves. Because when she has insecurities, it triggers sometimes anxieties. And until she deals with the insecurity or what is affecting her, you can't help her. But she has a perception that concentrating on you, she won't pay attention to what is affecting her. That is a coping mechanism that is toxic to you. This is control, manipulation. And it's not healthy. Rather, it's just torture. Stay away from her. Okay? Again, you don't analyze them. So, spirituality can only be found on a foundation of solitude. You will realize when you are alone, they don't feel comfortable. Why? When you are alone, it's easier to see things through, to understand everything without even analyzation. You are comfortable having fun, having your own time, but it seems to affect them. Just you being at peace. They feel like they are not in control. You have good intention, but you want peace. For the psychological world needs to be empty. Now, they don't want you to be alone because when you are alone, you can see through them. Because that is when spirituality exists. Even sometimes you try to listen to some songs that raise your spirituality. It affects them so bad. Right? And all this time, you have been thinking, maybe you have a problem, right? Maybe you've been acting crazy. Nothing makes sense. It can only make sense when you are on a foundation of solitude by not analyzing people and accepting the what is. Now, the observer is the observed. But when the observer always acted as if he is not the observed, he will have to act. Again, the observer is the observed. But when the observer always acted as if he is not the observed, yet he is something else. Right? She's looking at me. I am looking at her. The fact is, she's looking at me. I am the observed. That is a fact. But when I acted as if I am something else and not the observed, what will happen? You will act. You will react. You will respond. That brings what? Conflict in the psychological what? Society. Because nothing makes sense. I mean, they are analyzing me, trying to scrutinize me, to understand me, and then it affects you. You move off center. You feel that way. You see it that way. That is a fact. See it as it is. They are observing me. That is a fact. When you move off center, now that energy that they have been applying, it's working. It's working on you. The empathetic Isa, you empathize. I have to act this way. They are looking at me. When the observer acted as if he is not the observed, he will be a different human being. That is where there will be conflict, resentment. You will feel like something's just off with me. Yes, it will be off with you. When you are alone, there is spirituality on that foundation of solitude. Because it is just the what is. They are looking at me, okay, fine. What they look at, it's what exists. It's just what is there. It's a fact. They are looking at you. Let them look at you. And face that conflict head on. Later on, they will get tired because the tactic isn't working. I told you, nowadays, psychological societies exist because of this energy. I just need to operate on a specific way because that will make me feel like I am in control, the dominant person. And when I feel like I am not in control, I will walk away. Okay, fine. I will act in a certain way. Okay, fine. Now, this is the weird thing. When you will want to walk away from them, it will have an impact on you and your legs will not move. You will feel like you can't just do it. When you feel like you can't just do it, that is when you are supposed to do it. Because your feeling is just an illusion. That illusion is an energy spell that has already been cast on you because they have been doing the good things, right? But is it genuine? No. I need to make sure that I am in control. What happens when it becomes so damaging to your mental state? Is it still healthy? You tell me, Isaac. But we need to always do what? They're good people. Right? Again, this Hannah, she's so perfect when she acts or operates around other people. Because the energy is so high, plus the discipline in it, plus the specific action they have been applying, they have more power. If it was meant to solve a specific problem that will genuinely help, again, that will genuinely help, that will be good. It wasn't meant to help, but to control. So we are evolving in a specific way just to assert power and control. What will that do to you? You find yourself, you can't just understand reality. You can't just understand things. No. When you are already in that situation inside, you will never understand until you find solitude. And then you know why. They are not the problem, you are the problem. How so? How did you attract them? That's the first question. Maybe they acted so good for 1 year, 6 months. And you also had the same energy they had. Maybe it was genuine until they found out they can't act in a certain way if it makes them feel like they are losing control. Or maybe they were not willing to apply that in a relationship, but to other people. But now that they feel like they are out of control, they have to act that way. Or maybe it was just part of a character that existed in them. They acted so good. Right? Now, sometimes when you are with these people, something will just trigger you negatively. Why so? And you might think you have a problem. This energy is just affecting you deep down internally. Why? You have a positive energy, they have a negative energy. They're trying to apply something. Negatively, positively, I don't know. Then you act in a certain way. You think you have a problem. Right? It has been happening consistently when you are with them. Why? Maybe a specific energy that they have or they operate on, it has an impact on you. And when it has an impact on you, you will react. Try to also understand it's not an energy from a specific trauma or heartbreak. It will never make sense. Nothing will ever make sense until you realize it has been an energy, something they have. It will never make sense until now something or everything makes sense. You will try to make everything make sense. And every time you have a problem, you will run to them. Every time you have a problem, you will run to them. They will solve it because they can. That is a fact. They will solve it for you, Isaac, because they can, so that you can fully now rely on them. Because that is what you need to trust. You do anything for them, no matter what. No matter what, you can die for them, right? They're good people. They have good intention. No matter what, you can do anything for these people. What happens when now you realize that you have lost every friend? You don't like your sisters or brothers. You don't like even your mother, your father, your uncles, your aunt. You don't like them. Maybe it's true you don't like them. It's a fact. You don't like them. But now, this is another situation that needs more understanding. You're not just labeling things. How can you handle these women? I told you the answer. When the observer acted as if he is not the observed. When the observer thinks he is not the observed, but acted as if he is something else, then he will act. Again, when the observer thinks that he is not the observed, but he is something else, and not the observed in himself, but something else, then he will act as if he is something else. That is a fact. And when he acts as if he is something else, now that energy is working on them. You are the observed. When you know you are the observed, that totally ends everything. The energy, the manipulation, the control, the power. Be peace with it. You are the observed. That is a fact. No, don't analyze or try to control it. You don't feel like doing it, just don't do it. Right? They are observing you. You don't feel like acting, just don't act. Not because you are agreeing or disagreeing, but that is what is. Again, let your brain know that is what is, that is what exists. It's just what is there. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what exists. It's just nothing. Because the reality is we are nothing. Until it's affecting you. Where someone can now hit you. Or maybe, let me say, someone can now carry you, Isaac, from this place to this place by force. Now, they are acting physically. That is when you know it's time to do what? It's time to act, because they are acting for your own safety, or I don't know, until she is doing something physically. You never knew that existed in the real world. When you act as if you are not the observed, when you say, I think they are observing me, you are acting as if you are not the observed. So you will have to act. Yeah. That is when there will be conflict. Yeah. The weird thing is, you know they are using a specific energy on you when you will instantly also get attracted to some people instantly, because the same people are using that energy. So if the energy is working on you and you feel attracted to a specific lady instantly, then there is a high chance that your partner's energy is working on you. That is a fact. Like how you operate on a specific way defines the frequency or how the other people are asserting power over you, controlling you, rejecting you, and then coming back to act as if they are still in love. Right? Until next time, be safe, take care, and let's have peace.